Welcome everyone to day 57 of building the flight booking engine. We have come a long way, and this has been one of the interesting projects I've built after learning FastAPI right here with you, and I'm now trying to wrap up this project. So I hope it makes a good benefit to you. So let me go through the notifications and let's wrap it up. I want to, look forward to the end to see that we have something which is working and makes sense. A number of things have been changed, and I want to make sure that I explain every bit of code to you. Let's start with the backend, and then we can go to the front end. So I'll just modify this to make sure it's big enough and that you can see it. So if I go to the backend, and I think I'll start from the models, okay? Then I'll go step by step to explain, okay? And I'll show you how everything adds up together. So let's start with models. So in the models, there's an applications model, but there's been a change to it, okay? That change I'm going to show you in a minute, okay? Let me drag this terminal a little bit down. So like you know, we have the notification types that you saw for ticket uploaded, payment success, payment failed, booking confirmed, and general. Then for the notification, okay, it's an SQL model and table equals to true. Then we have an ID, which is a UID, and it's the primary key. We have the user ID, okay? So we know that's a foreign key. We have the type, okay? And by default, it's a general notification. We have the message, a boolean, whether it has been read or not, and created at, okay? Then we have the actual definition of the relationship. The change has come at this point, okay? We didn't have what they call time zone aware dates, okay, in our models for date times. So it was what we had previously was called time zone naive, okay? So time zone naive simply means a date time object which does not have information about the time zone, okay? This one is time zone aware because it has information about the time zone, okay? And how I did that was to say SA column equals to column, okay? Then define date time, okay, as an instance and pass this value here, saying time zone equals to true, passing this argument. And then of course, null label equals to false. And by default, I just do an inline function, which is a lambda function, which passes datetime.now, okay? And the value is timezone.utc. With that done, the next step is to create migrations, okay? So if I open my terminal, maybe minimize this, okay? So when the container is running, okay? So run the backend, create a new terminal, okay? cd into backend. So I'll clear this, okay? If I say docker ps, you'll see that the backend is running on this spot, okay? So to run the migrations, I hope you learned that and you tried it on your own, but the command is actually very simple, okay? So remember, I just did docker ps. What is the purpose of docker ps? Okay, for me to see the containers which are running, okay? And I just copied the container ID of the backend, okay? So I'll clear, okay, and say docker, okay, execute, okay, minus IT, okay, interactive mode, and attach a terminal, okay, and then the container ID, or you can use the container name. Then after that, run, okay, uv run alembic, okay, alembic run, okay, revision, okay, minus auto generate, okay. You don't have to cram these commands, okay. You can make a mistake with one thing, maybe one character, you always change, okay. Then minus m, then the name of the migration, maybe you say create notification, notification model, okay? Or change time to time zone aware time, okay? Change created at column to time zone aware time, something like that, okay? So like you see, I have an error. Instead of run, I typed rub, okay? So it's okay. It is very okay to make such mistakes. You can always change, okay? Make changes to them, okay? And that is very normal, okay? But I'll not run this because I actually run the migrations. But after you've done this, okay, then you do the same command. You say docker, not the same, but you now apply them. You say docker exec, okay, -I interactive, attach a terminal, the container ID. You can do uv run, okay, then alembic, okay, alembic, okay, then you run the upgrade, okay, upgrade command, say upgrade head and hit enter, okay. So you can actually always verify, okay, if you're not sure of these commands. If I go to here and I say alembic run migrations, okay, a simple run alembic make revision. They're called revisions actually, okay. Make a new revision. I want to see if I can show you that command. I think we actually did this. Where can I find it? I want to show you how to do things on your own, because I might have missed out the thing. I can control F and search for revision. Wow, there's so many. Let us see if I can get what I'm looking for. So I'm only seeing alembic in it. The easiest way actually would be to do this. Say how to make a revision in alembic, okay? So I want you to see how you can actually do this kind of things, okay? Yeah, this is actually it, okay? So alembic revision -m. So you don't have to say run again, okay? So you say alembic upgrade if you're applying the revision, and then if you're going to what is it called, to create it, you simply say alembic revision, okay, then the -m, you put the revision name, okay, as a string. So I did that, okay, and like you see, you don't have to cram these things. If you forget, you can do Google search, okay, or ask AI, like you see people doing, or like we do nowadays. So we have two revisions here, okay. So you see that I have a number of things I did, okay. There's one here which was for adding the notification table. Are you seeing it? Says add notification table. Then there's this other one, says, see, convert date times to timestamps, okay. So that's the revision, okay. So create a revision and apply it. But of course, if you're working with me and you're studying at the same pace with me, you may not have to create them, okay. I'll push them to GitHub and you will find them. Then in env.py, I made a few changes, okay, just to fix the path to the parent, okay, to make the env aware about this parent directory, okay. So because it had some issues with the path, but then after that we go down to the gist of the matter, okay. So we have now our model, okay. We have our model called notifications, okay. After that, applying the migration, there are a few things that changed, okay. For example, if I go to users.py, okay, maybe zoom out a little bit. In users.py, we mentioned a relationship, okay. We specified a relationship, okay, which will help us to get a user's notifications, okay. Here it is. And also for the reset token expires, we changed it to a time zone aware column. So Take note of that. Then if you go to permissions, okay, you see assigned at is also now a time zone aware column. Take note of those small things, okay? Very, very important things for notifications, okay? Notifications will not perform well if the time zones, okay? If the time is not time zone aware, okay? And I noticed it when I was creating things and the time was showing 3 hours ago, okay? And I was wondering, okay? And it was because I was not including the time zone information in my datetime objects. They were time zone naive. After that, we go to the booking. So you see the booking column also has a created at. I mean, the booking model has a created at column, and this column is now also time zone aware. Okay, that's nice. So out of models, we now go to the we can go to the CRUD operations, okay, or the schemas, okay. But let us go to the schemas first. So in the schemas, we have a new module called notifications.py, okay? And we saw this previously. We simply create notification base, okay? Made of a message and type. For creating, we have the user ID built on top of this through inheritance. We have the update, okay, which adds is read to this base through through actually this one has no inheritance. So it only has this, okay? And I'm seeing something they need to improve, like this typing, okay? I don't have to use optional, okay? Then we have the type for the response, okay? Which inherits some notification base and has all this, okay? Then we have the one for streaming, okay? So for streaming, it defines the event type, which is a string, and the actual data, okay? Whose keys are strings and the values can be anything, okay? Then we have the 100 count response. Remember, we're also going to use this, okay, for streaming successful counts, okay, to the backend, telling you that you have 200 messages, you have 1,000 messages, or 0 messages if you have read everything. Now, besides this, okay, if you have any question, again, don't hesitate to ask, okay? I want to do my best to explain everything to you so that you understand. So that is for the schemas, okay? Simply types for what is coming in and what is leaving. So outside schemas, now I can show you, if I go up, okay? If I go up right here to, actually before schemas, in the templates, okay? I had to change the template, okay, for payment success. Yeah, just a quick note, okay? When payment gets successful, we are sending this in the email notification. All right. And I'm going to put all things, I'm going to put them together. Let me delete these log files for now. I'm already having a solution for how to implement them better, and you'll see. So when we go to now the CRUD operations, you're going to see things that, of course, we already talked about, okay? But I want to talk about everything, okay? In order so that nobody is lost and you understand everything, okay? So for creating a notification, okay, we have this function for creating a notification. You see that we have a notification instance created, we add, we commit, refresh, and return it, okay? Get notifications by user, simply the same statement, okay? All that we looked at in the previous video. So if you didn't, please have a look at that video, okay? The previous stream in day 56. So we looked at all this, okay? Get notifications by user, get 100 notifications count, mark notifications as read, mark all notifications as read, delete notification, okay? All this was done. So I'll close this too. Okay, actually, let's go to users.py. There should be something new here or a change. Oh, it is right here, okay? In the logic for the reset time, okay? Yeah. I just was comparing against a time zone aware date time object by passing timezone.utc to datetime.now. Now, next up, so I want to cover all the changes so that you understand, okay? Let us now go to here, okay, in the utils, okay, to see the utilities, okay. In the utilities, of course, first of all, in the booking transformer, I also made a change, okay, to the time zone objects, okay, like you see here, okay, by simply replacing this string with a z, okay, for the time zone. But what is important is now to go to the notification service, first of all, okay, and we go through it, okay, and so that you see how it actually works. Actually, maybe before that, okay, let's look at this file, okay, security.py. It's going to be very important, okay. So in security.py, I have a function which is called get user from token, which takes in a token and a session. This function performs a similar role to get current user, but the difference is that this one will not take an OAuth to scheme. Okay, why? This function is going to be used for server sent endpoints. Okay, for verifying that a user has been authenticated, because server sent endpoints, okay, you pass the token as a query param. Okay, we cannot deal with headers, okay, in server sent events. So the token is going to be sent as a query param. That is why I'm using this format. Otherwise, if it was possible to send it as a header, we would have a dependency. We'd actually simply reuse get current user. Okay, so get current user and get user from token perform the same goal. Okay, like you can see, I define an HTTP exception with a status code of 401 unauthorized and a detail saying could not validate credentials. We decode the token, okay, get the sub, okay. If the email is none from what we have got here, we raise the credentials exception, okay. Otherwise, we select the user, okay, from the database where the email, okay, in the database matches this email that we have been given, okay, that we have extracted from the token. Once there is no match, if we raise a credentials exception, okay. In case the code in the token brings up an issue, okay, this will raise an invalid token error, and we shall catch it, okay, in this except block and simply raise a credentials exception again. Otherwise, if things are okay, we simply return the user. Okay, so this is a new function that I introduced. Then after that, in redis.py, okay, there are also a number of changes. Now, this is where I want you to give maximum attention, okay, to make sure you understand what is going on, okay. First of all, you see that we have a logger, okay. By now, I'm sure you know about this. If this is new to you, there's a video where I dealt with building a logging manager. You can have a look at it. And of course, logging shall be improved later on. So we get the Redis URL from the environment variable. After that, okay, we have this Redis pool saying I or Redis.from URL, pick the Redis URL, the code responses equals to true, okay. Then we have what they call the heartbeat interval in seconds. Now, I'm going to explain what the heartbeat interval is. And listen, okay? A heartbeat interval is simply, okay, a time, okay, that you use to keep a connection of a server sent event alive. How does this happen? Certain proxies, load balancers, okay, and tools like Nginx and other tools, okay, proxies on the internet, when they find a connection, okay, which is long running and is idle, they terminate it, they close it. Okay. In our case, for server sent event, a server sent event, remember, is a single HTTP connection, which is long running, okay, until it is closed. So when these proxies and network tools, okay, see that you have your connection idle, okay, for like even maybe about 60 maybe minutes, or a certain period of time, okay, they close it. So to keep it alive, okay, in case our front end or back end are not having this event sent between them, when there's nothing happening, okay, we send what is called a heartbeat, okay? We send a comment, okay? An event which tells the front end to do nothing, okay? So that the connection is not closed, okay? Because if it is idle, it will be closed, okay? So every 30 seconds, if there's nothing happening, we shall send back, okay, a comment or a dummy message just to keep the connection alive, okay? So this is what is called the heartbeat, okay? And the rate at which you send this message back, this event back to the client just to keep the connection open is called the heartbeat interval. Okay, so a heartbeat interval is is the rate at which you're going to send an event, okay, that the browser is going to ignore with the purpose of just keeping the connection alive, so that the connection is not deemed idle and closed. Okay, so the goal is to prevent a connection from being closed, because once the connection is idle, okay, these server network tools close, okay, close, okay, they close the connection, and for us we want ours to be constantly open. So you're going to see how I am going to use it in this function called notification streamer and how I have improved it. Okay, so I'll close that comment and then go ahead to explain to you how it's going to be applied. Cool. So now look at this. Okay. So now we create an object, okay, of the pub sub, okay, like orange, like what we did in the previous video. Then now look at this. There's now a change. Okay. Are you seeing this channel? This time the channel is being we are adding the user ID to the channel. Why the user ID? To make it specific. Okay. Previously we didn't have this, it was just like this. It was just clean. Okay, it was just notifications like this. But this would mean you're sending to everybody. Okay, so to make it unique for a particular user, I put a full colon and then attach the user ID. Okay, so this is how we're making user based channels. Okay, using the user ID. Then here, of course, we subscribe to the channel. Okay, and then simply log a message. Then now here we send an initial connection. Okay, with an unread count. Okay. Now, look at this. I'm going to explain this, okay? This has this statement, okay? Remember, this is an async generator, okay? That is why we have the yield statement. It is an async generator, and there are two pieces of data. They are separated by this new line, this delimiter here, this L/N, okay? The first piece of data is called the event, okay? So this is to specify an event type connected, okay? Whose value is connecting, saying that the connection, okay, things are now working. You have successfully connected to the server sent event. That is why we have this, okay? Then after that, there is the next piece, which is data, okay? And it has to be data. So data, full colon, then the data in JSON, okay? So I use JSON.dumps, okay? And JSON.dumps now takes in the actual data, okay? See, we have another confirmation of the status to be connected. We pass in the user ID, okay? So these are key value pairs. After that, we also pass the initial and read count. Have you noticed that actually this function also has an initial and read count of 0? Okay, that is what it does. Okay, but of course you're going to see how we're going to pass it. We're going to pass a value when we are using the notification streamer very soon. Then we say an unread count equals to initial count. Then at the end, did you guys research what these things mean? Okay, so in server set events, okay, once you have these two new lines, okay, these two characters at the end, it refers to the end of an event. Okay, so you're saying, okay, we have sent an event, this is the end, wait for another. That is the purpose of this. Don't forget, okay? The purpose of these two delimiters, these two lines at the end, okay? You can call them new lines, okay? If you're like from a Linux shell background, okay? But they're simply delimiters, okay? Characters marking the end of a server set event. So make sure you have them. Okay, let me make this bigger. Okay, make sure you have them. All right. So actually, when we format the code, it should be put on the next line. Okay. Then now we come into the loop. Okay. So we come into now the loop. In the loop, okay, while true, we now we pick the message. Okay. But now we say await async IO dot wait for. Okay. So wait for is simply a feature. Okay. I mean a function which allows us to wait for a coroutine to complete with a timeout. Okay. So wait for is simply a function, a method which helps us to wait for a coroutine to complete with a timeout. Okay. So which coroutine are we waiting to complete is this. Okay. So this is very important. Okay. And the timeout is now the heartbeat interval. Okay. I see. It is the heartbeat interval. Okay. So once the timeout has exceeded, okay, we shall get a timeout error. Okay. And the timeout error, when the timeout error is risen, we catch it. Where do we catch it? Down here. It says except async IO.timeout error. Okay. If you don't know what coroutines are, please go ahead and watch the video that I created. Okay. In the playlist when I was studying FastAPI. Okay. I think either the first or second video. Okay. It deals with timeouts. I mean, no, not timeouts, with coroutines. Okay. Very important concept you need to understand in Python. Okay. So here we get the message. Okay. That has been published. Okay. And of course we say ignore subscribe messages equals to true. Why? Because just like we have an event type, okay, of connected, the pub sub tool, okay, of Redis or async IO, we can actually not can but always sends subscribe, okay, and unsubscribe messages. Okay, we don't want to send those messages to the front end or to our client. We want to ignore them. Okay, that's why you have ignore subscribe messages equals to true. Now we now go ahead to check if the message actually exists. Okay, and the message type equals to message. Okay, then what do? Okay, we deserialize it. Okay, and get the particular event type, which is a notification. Okay, and send it back to the front end. Okay, using this yield statement. Okay, so you see event. Okay, we mentioned the event type. That is the first piece of data. Don't forget. Then we separate it with the next piece of data using this delimiter, this new line character. Okay. Then after that, we now send the actual data. Okay. Look at this syntax. It is the similar with this one. We have the event type, and the data. Okay. So the event type, full colon, the value. Data, full colon, and then the value. Same thing here. We have the event type, full colon, value, separated by a new line. Even up here also separated by that character. Take note of that. Then after that, we have the data, full colon, okay? Then after that, we have the JSON.dumps, okay? The event data, okay? We simply send back when it is serialized, okay? And we mark the end of this event using these two characters, like I've told you. Don't forget this, my friends, okay? So be patient. Very soon we are going to see all this in action. Now, like I told you, when a timeout error happens, what do? We simply send a heartbeat back, okay? And in server set events, okay, you can send a comment, okay? So when you send a comment, the client or the front end will do nothing, okay? The goal is to keep the connection busy, okay? Remember, if the connection is not busy, okay, those proxies and those network tools can cut off the connection, okay? So to prevent the connection from being cut off, we send an event. Think about it as a dummy event, okay? But in a real sense, it is a comment. To create a comment, okay, in server sent events, you start with a full colon. Are you seeing this? Full colon, space, okay? Then you see we have that heartbeat, okay? So comment start with a full colon space, okay? That's how you create a comment. Okay, so it's a heartbeat comment to keep the connection alive, and that's why I've left this comment here. Okay, I'll leave it so that as you revise the code and you read it on your own, you understand it. So make sure that after this stream in your free time, look at these functions. Okay, be curious about them, read line by line, understand them, and make sure you make the code your own. Okay, break things and type it by yourself. Okay, so again, these at the end, are you seeing? These two characters mark the end of an event, okay? But when the browser sees this, it will know that this guy has just sent a comment, okay? It will ignore it, it will accept it, but it won't do anything because it is a comment. Why? Simply to keep the connection alive. Remember, we are having here a heartbeat in timeout, okay? The timeout is the heartbeat interval. In case of a timeout, okay, we catch it here, timeout error, and we simply yield that, okay, to keep everything okay and alive. Keep the connection alive, okay? In case anything is cancelled, okay, if we get a cancelled error, we simply raise it again, okay? And of course, this is for just a general exception that will be caught, okay? And in case of that, we simply yield another event, okay? Now, again, look at the event type, okay? It's error. So I want you to notice the event types, okay? We have an event type, value connected. We have event type, okay, which will be this time notification, okay? You see, notification. Here I'm saying data the event data.get event type. If it is not there initially, okay, by default it will be notification. Okay, so we set it here. This is a comment, okay. Then here we have event type error, okay, and then after that we have another piece of data called data, okay, separated again by this delimiter, this new line character. Do not forget that, okay. If you're just joining now, and you have a question, please don't hesitate to ask. Then after that, the value for data is this, okay? JSON.dumps, okay? You have the error and then just a stream error, okay? We can pass in the actual error, but I just want to keep it simple by saying stream error, okay? And again, look at the end. These two characters mark the end of an event, okay? Then finally, we know what a finally close does, okay? So whether things are successful or not, whether an error occurs or not, okay? Whether this block executes properly or this, okay? Or we get an error. At the end, we have to do what they call cleanup, okay? We unsubscribe from the channel and we close the pub sub, okay? This is how you clean up, okay? But also any of this can fail, okay? So if it fails, we simply, what am I doing? Close this. If it fails, we have our try, okay? And accept. Then here we can just simply log, okay? Saying that we failed to close, okay? So that's how it works, okay? So this is going to be, oh, actually I ended up in a different function, okay? Yeah, but the logic is the same, okay? So we have this one, notification streamer, which will be for all major data heavy notifications. Then I have the unread count streamer, okay? This one is specific for only unread count updates, okay? So look at it. Similar syntax, okay? Create a pub sub object, okay? Then we define a channel. Look at this channel. This channel is different, okay? It has notifications, full colon, count, full colon, then we put a dynamic user ID so that we create count streamers for particular users, okay? So this is going to be for the count, okay? So that when a notification is sent, okay, the count updates, the count of unread messages updates automatically. You're going to see this, okay, in the front end. Just be patient with me. I want to make sure that you understand this properly. Okay, so I want to make sure that you understand this properly. Maybe just to give you a glimpse, okay, into what I'm talking about. Okay, so are you seeing this? This is how it appears. Okay, and this bell icon, you're going to see things changing. Okay, you're going to see things changing. The count will appear here. Okay, so let us go to back. Okay, Now, we try a number of statements. The same thing, we subscribe to the channel, log, okay? Send an initial event count, okay? So you see that event this time, the event type is count, okay? Then we make a separation, next piece of data, which is data still, the key is data, okay? And then we serialize this dictionary here, okay? And read count having the initial count, okay? Which will be passed from the function unread count streamer. Remember, it gets the user ID and the initial count as arguments. Then, so even here now, then inside the while loop, okay, we now wait for the timeout with a heartbeat. Okay. Again, what is wait for? Wait for is simply a method, okay, which waits for a coroutine to complete with a timeout. Waits for a coroutine to complete with a timeout. Okay. So you see the timeout is this, and the coroutine is this. Okay. And I explained this up there. Okay. In the previous function. So you see the same syntax here. Okay. Now we serialize. Okay. Deserialize rather, okay? Then again here we yield another event, but this time it is count, okay? Notice this, it is count. Then we have two pieces, okay? We have the event and then we have data. Both of them are separated by this delimiter, okay? Then to mark the end of the server sent event or the SSE, we have these two characters at the end. Never forget that, okay? And always make sure you serialize your data, okay? Then in case of a timeout error, okay, to keep the connection alive, we simply send a heartbeat comment to keep the connection alive, like I've mentioned, okay? Then I've also explained all this, okay? So if you're just joining right now, I've just explained all this in the previous function. So to save time, I will leave that. So then we have now for publishing notification, okay? So we now publish a notification to a user's specific channel, okay? After we have created our streamers, okay? Our functions which are going to listen in, okay? For these notifications, we now need to publish them, okay? So it cannot listen to something which has not been published. So publishing a general notification, again, we define a channel, okay? So you notice that this, okay, matches what is up here, okay? This, okay? So the same channel, okay? So we shall be streaming from what has been published here, okay? So to publish is very easy. You simply say the Redis, our Redis pool would publish to the channel, and then you send the data, okay? The serialized data, okay? So you see our function publish notification takes in the user ID, which is a UUID, and the notification data, which is a dictionary, okay? And so we serialize it and send to that channel, okay? Then of course, simply a log script, okay? And for debugging, I can actually remove it. I don't need it anymore. Then return the result, okay? In case of any issue, we can log the error and raise. I can leave this for now, okay? Then actually, for this one, I want to check it to logger.info. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. So this is for the publish notification function. Then we have publish and read count. Okay. Now this one publishes to both channels. Okay. Because we need them. Okay. So here I first of all build up a simple dictionary. Okay. Called count data with two keys, event type, whose value is unread count. Okay. Unread count, the actual value of the unread messages or notifications. So you see that this thing is flexible. Okay, you can create your own event types. Then here we now define the channels. Okay, the first one for notifications, remember, which will be handled by this notification streamer. Then the count channel, which is notifications count. Okay, then user ID, which will be handled by this unread count streamer. Open it. I see this definition here, very close. Actually, it's the same, not close, but the same. After that, okay, defining these two channels, we now publish to both. Okay, see, Redis.publish to this channel, Redis.publish to this channel. Okay, and we are publishing the same data. Okay, the count data. Okay, so here logger.debug, I'm going to change it to info instead of debug because now I'll need to see what is happening. Okay, during production, I want to see what actually happened. Okay, then at the end, I say return result 1 plus 2. Okay, thankfully for Python, you can simply do this. Okay, then in case of an exception, I simply erase it and have a logger.error. So that is it for redis.py. Okay, now we go to more cool stuff, the notification service. I'm not sure if we dealt with this in the previous video. Okay, but let us talk about it. Okay, it's very, very important. This is now going to make use of what you've just seen. Okay, we've just seen. After this, okay, I expect you now to know how to deal with server-side events. Okay, to apply them to your projects. Okay, very nice, awesome tool and very simple way of having real-time activity, or not, or yeah, let me say real-time activity. Okay, it may not only be a notification, but you just want to have something in real time. So it's saying create and publish notification. Okay, so now this is where we create we use this function to create a notification in our database, then also publish it. So we shall need the database session, the user ID, okay, who's going to receive it, the actual message, and the notification type. Okay, so if you see here, of course, this is the optional uh the type for the response is notification response, and it is optional. Okay, and of course notification type by default is general. Okay, and it says a string. Let's go on. So we create a notification, okay, an instance, okay, and then add it to our database. After that, we build notification data for the publication. Okay, the event type is notification. Actually, this shouldn't be a magic string. Okay, I will change this from a magic string to actually a constant very soon. Then we have the ID, the type. Okay, we have the type of notification, the message. Okay, whether it has been read or not, where the time it has been created, and the user ID. Okay, then here, okay, we simply say await publish notification. Okay, it says logger.info notification published for user. So I'm seeing a repetition of in publish notification, I have a logger. Are you seeing this logger? Okay, I want to remove it from here. Okay, to keep it clean. Okay, in case things fail, this other one will show us. Let me remove this also. Okay, and maybe okay, I can maybe leave this one for now. Okay, I'll think about how to handle it, because this other one is doing what I wanted using the logging. So we accept, okay, and simply return the notification. So this is what happens. Okay, we create it in the database, okay, and publish what has been created in the database. So this is how we achieve persistence. Okay, take note of this. Okay, create it in the database. Okay, after publish what has been created in the database. Okay, this is how I wanted it to be done. I don't know what you guys think. Okay, by the way, if you're enjoying this series, okay, and you've made it all the way to day 57, please let me know. Okay, I would be very happy to know that many of you have been consistent from the very beginning, and I'm sure you have learned quite a lot. And if this series has been very important, yeah, like this video, and yeah, leave a comment if you have a question, and share it with people in your network. Okay, what began as 10 subscribers, 1 subscriber, is now into over 600. So it shows that what I'm doing over here has a value. Okay, and many of you have sent very encouraging comments. I appreciate. All right, so yeah, in case the publication does not work, that's what happens. Okay, with the try except. So in case there's a database issue, we also have this. Okay, an except where we can roll back the operation and return none. Okay, that's why you see it had an optional that you can have notification response or none. Okay, so after create and publish, we have get and publish unread count. Okay, which simply gets the unread notification count. Okay, and publishes it to Redis. So this one is also very similar. It takes in the database session and the user ID and simply returns an integer. So this one, we have a function called get unread notifications count. If I click on it, I want to hover, press command or control if you're on Windows, click. You see what? Simply select a notification where the notification user IDs matches, where is read is false. So this is an AND operation, okay? This and this, okay? Then we say dot all and then return the length of this. So here we get an integer, okay? Then we now publish, okay? So we publish, okay? For this user ID, discount, okay? So we know that using this ID, we shall be getting the, what is it called? The channel, okay? The channel will be built based on this user ID, okay? Just like I showed you in this publish and read count. So you see, it publishes to both the two channels, okay? And the channels are built using the user ID, okay? So for every user, they won't miss anything, okay? Then because of anything, we have an except block, okay? And if everything goes on well, we simply return a count. Isn't that awesome? So that's your notification service, okay? What else? So with that, maybe one more thing in your environment variable, okay? Add this, okay? Add the Redis URL, okay? In your .env, okay? So I've added it to the env example here, okay? Have it like this, okay? And of course, if you're running Redis on a different port, do this, okay? And if you're using, for those who have been following me, I expect that you're using also Docker, okay? Docker Compose. So this should be sorted for you. What else? So let's wrap up the backend by going to the routers, okay? So in the routers, okay, let me close this. I want to show you, start from what you know of in tickets.py, okay? So in tickets.py, I want to show you this, okay? So you can see I removed a number of logging statements, okay? Email, where is this? Okay, now here, okay? I was looking for this part. So here, after when we're uploading a ticket, okay? Let me not assume maybe everybody knows. Let me start from up, okay? In this function, we first get the booking by ID, okay? If the booking does not exist, we raise an exception with a code of 404 not found, okay? And this will be the detail or message. After that, we extract the PNR, okay? This is a change I made from booking.amadeus response. We get the associated records, okay? And pick the reference, okay? So that we have the PNR. After picking the PNR, we upload the file, okay? We upload the file to the cloud. After uploading the file to the cloud, we pick the upload result, okay? Then update the booking with this ticket, okay? So to update the booking with the ticket, we send the database session, the booking ID, and the secure URL, okay? If it has not been updated, we also raise an exception, okay? With a 500 internal server error, okay? And this will be the detail message. If that is done, we now use a background task to send an email. Remember, email SMTP can be boring and very slow. So we call the send email function, okay, with its arguments, the recipients, the subject, the template, and extra data having the PNR and booking ID, okay? So this is for the email notification. Don't forget that we have email notifications in this, okay? And who knows, we can also add SMSs, okay? But I won't go into that for the MVP. Then after that, we now send the in-app notification. So you see now, this is where we say await, create, and publish. This is now our real-time notification, okay, which is persisted to the database, okay, and is real-time via SSE or server sent event, okay. We give it to the function, the DB session as the argument. We give the user ID, then the message saying your ticket for the flight with PNR has been uploaded successfully. Then we specify the notification type, which is notification type ticket uploaded, okay. After that, we also send, so this is to the person for whom the ticket has been uploaded, okay? So this is the notification to the customer. Don't forget that. Notification to the customer. Now we also need to send notification to all admins, okay? To know that this particular user has their ticket uploaded, okay? So admins also need to know. So for every admin, okay? For every admin, okay? I also call await, create and publish notification, okay? Then I send the database session as an argument, the user ID, but user ID this time will be admin.id, okay? So you see, what you simply change is the person to whom it is going to, the ID of the person to whom it is going to, okay? And then you upload, we pass the message, okay, as an argument, then also pass the notification type, okay? Here, this should not be general, okay? This is a mistake. This should be notification type dot ticket uploaded. That's why it is good to always do a code review, okay? Very, very, very important. And by the way, this can be improved, okay? This can be improved. I want to give you a task, okay? I always give you guys tasks, but you guys ignore my tasks, okay? How can you, okay, have this, okay? Are you seeing this from send? Actually, I did this in a project for a client recently, okay? How can you have this, okay? This background task, this email notification, okay? And this in-app notification, which is working by server sent events, okay? How can you have it in one class? Imagine you have a service which manages all types of notifications, whether email notifications, whether in-app notifications, whether SMSs in one class. I see a message by Naveen. Hi Nehemiah, I just found this playlist. Have some catching up to do. We'll start watching from first video. One request is make a playlist for microservice architecture. All right, I will do that. I have, Naveen, I have so many requests of things to do, okay? But I will do it, okay? I actually took note of it. I don't know if I can show you. Let me show. So it's in plan, okay? Yeah, we are going to deal with microservices. Naveen, thank you for watching. Okay, thank you for watching and joining this learning journey. Okay, building, learning, and learning. Okay, yeah. So you get to see a number of concepts being covered. Okay, right here on this in this playlist and on this channel. Okay, yeah. This was my way of sharing knowledge, but also learning from you. So if you're here and you know something and I'm doing something wrong, even you, Naveen, you can let me know, okay, and correct me, okay. Yeah. Tip is make sure you do more than what I'm showing you, okay. Yeah, because no man is perfect, okay, and you can do way more than I'm doing you. Look at the code, revise it, break it, make it your own, challenge, ask why, okay, why this, why this, why this, okay. All right, let me not get into that. Yeah, thanks, Naveen. I appreciate. So let's go on. Okay. So at the end, we simply return this message. Okay. As usual. Okay. Then, of course, you see the message has ticket uploaded successfully, the ticket URL, the booking ID, the public ID, okay, of the upload result. Then in case of anything, you simply raise an HTTP exception. Okay. Saying you go give us a bad request and we have failed to upload your ticket. Okay. For this particular reason. Okay. And of course, all this can be improved. Okay, that's the goal. Okay, but let me ask you something. Let me tell you something. Every time you're coding, ask yourself, how can I do this better? Okay, by seeing this. Okay, by just seeing this. Okay, seeing this code here. This code await, create and publish for admins. Await and create and publish for the customer. Okay, this background email. Okay, all this can be improved. Okay, you can improve this. So in your mind, think, how can we improve notifications? Okay. So even this, I in this, we are sending it to the person who created the email, but you can also send an email to the admin. Okay. Telling them so and so, admin so and so has uploaded a ticket. Okay. All right. So here, this is the first case where we publish the real-time notification. And you're going to see this in the front end in a few minutes from now. Okay, I want to show you another part. We go to the payments. Okay, so when person makes payments, we also publish a notification. I'm going to show you in this PayPal payment callback. Okay, after we get the original booking ID, get the booking by ID. Okay, If the booking does not exist, we return an error, okay? Something like this, but this should actually should raise an error, not return, okay? There's a difference between returning and raising, okay? This is not an error. This is not okay, okay? You need to return, to raise, okay? So I've already seen an issue, okay? That is why it is always good to constantly code review, okay? Every time you build a feature, code review that function you've built, that feature you've built, and associated functions or classes or methods to that new implementation. It helps you to see new things. All right, so again here, I extract a PNR, okay? Then we do the transaction, but what I want to show you is down here, okay? When the status code equals to 1, okay? And again, I'm seeing another issue. I should not have these ones, okay? This one here should not have, I think I have a 2 somewhere, okay? I'll show you. They should not be there. It should be a constant, not a magic string, okay? So if it is completed, okay, what happens, okay? So look at this. We have a background task, okay, for sending an email, okay, to the customer, okay? That's a good thing that we have. That's a good first step, okay? Send an email to the customer. After sending an email to the customer in a background task, okay, we again send emails to the admins. And I'm going to show you this, okay? We get all get admin emails, okay? We get all emails for the admins, okay? Actually, it is a simple, don't overthink it. If I open this, I think I showed you in the previous stream, okay? You see, we have this statement, okay? Select a group where group name equals to admin group name, okay? Then we get the first one, okay? And we execute this statement, okay? Then if there's no admin group, we simply return an empty list. Otherwise, for every user, okay, in an admin group.users, okay, if the user is active, give us their email. As simple as that. Says for every user, okay, in admin group.users, if the user is active, give us their email, return their email in this list. Okay, so this is basic Python, what is called list comprehension. Okay, this is list comprehension. Very useful thing in Python, and one of my favorite things about Python. Yeah, it made me love Python. So we send email notifications to the admins, okay, using HTML templates. Okay, we did this. In addition to that, what we just did today, okay, sending the in-app notifications for payment success, okay? So look at this, is create and publish notification, okay? We send to the user, okay? We send the DB session, we pass the DB session, pass the user ID, pass the message and the notification type. And this time you see it is notification type dot payment success, okay? Payment success. Take note of that, okay? And then we're done, and then we simply return this dict, okay? So you see, even here I have this saying payment status code equals to 2, okay? But that shouldn't be the case, okay? They should be magic number should be removed. This equals to 1, okay? These are areas of improvement, okay? Even this should be removed, okay? So when the code is 1, it has failed, okay? So even when it fails, we send a real-time notification to the user, okay? Using the same function, await, create, and publish notification, which takes in the same arguments, okay? But what changes is that this time we have a different message saying payment failed for flight with PNR that, okay? And the notification type is notification type that payment failed, okay? So yeah, I think for reverse, I didn't, when the code is 3 for reverse, I didn't put, but we can add, okay? So yeah, that's how we deal with and apply that function, okay? Which is await and publish notification. In fact, right here, we can also actually publish to the admin if we want to, okay? So like I always tell you, make this project your own, okay? In your own, okay? Call that function and publish to the admins, okay? Clone the project from GitHub and publish to admins, okay? Guys, I don't want you to just keep watching, okay? I want you to become good, okay? So you become good by actually coding, okay? You don't become good by only watching, but you code. In case, of course, you forget anything, you come back to the video to understand, okay? Come back to this stream and understand. But after that, you go back and code. So I have shown you tickets.py, payments.py. Did I talk about this one here? Okay. Flights. Did I talk about flights.py? Let me see. What did I change here? Oh, yes, I did. So in flights.py, okay, remember we have this function called flight order, okay? When you make a flight order, we also send an instant real-time notification using SSE server sent events, okay? So you can see even here, I removed a number of logging statements, okay? Because I was just using them for debugging, but now I don't need them anymore. So I'll minimize this, okay? Then minimize this, and we know, so we start from here, okay? We extract a PNR, okay? Again, like usual, we have a background task, okay, which sends an email, okay, to the customer that their booking order has been received, okay? After that, we go on to now notifying, okay, all admins, okay, about an order which has been created. So I get all the admin emails, okay, and then I send a background task, okay, again with an email, okay, to all of them, okay, simple as that. Then here build up the booking response, okay. Now here is the real thing, okay. So we create an in-app notification which is in real time, okay, real time using server sent events, okay. The same data, okay. Simply pass the DB session, the user ID, the message, and the notification type, which is notification type dot booking confirmed. Okay. So this is where we also apply that. Okay. So this is to the user, but remember, we can also send it to the admins. Okay. Take note of that. We can send it to the admin. So clone this project and make it your own. Call this function for the admins. Okay. Remember, you can have many admins. So you may need a function like this. Okay. Which gives you the admin IDs. Okay. So that you send to the admin, all admins, the notification. Okay. Yeah, I think that is it. I don't think I did anything here. So we have a system right now whereby we can we can create notifications for any activity. Okay. That was the goal of this. Okay. We can create notifications for any activity. Notifications for any activity. Let me challenge you. Create a table called the notification preferences. Okay. If a user wants a notification by email, okay, if the user has chosen the preference of email, send it. Okay. If a user has chosen the preference of an in-app notification, send it. Okay. So we can have what they call notification preferences also. Okay. That's like now taking it to a next level. Okay. I will not implement it in the MVP right now, but I'm giving you an idea to make the project your own. Okay. What else? Admin.py, did I change anything? Let me see. No, only time zone stuff. Okay. Notifications.py. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure all of you were waiting for this. So here, this is now what the front ends, okay, or the clients are going to call, okay, whether web front end, mobile front end, whatever, okay, they're going to be using these the actual endpoints, okay. So let's go through them, okay. So we have the notification stream, okay. So notifications, remember the prefix is notifications / stream, okay. We pick the token as a query parameter, okay, and a database session, okay. So we first of all get the current user, okay. In case this get current user fails, okay, they will get an error. You remember that? If I hover over this, press Command or Control if you're in Windows, click and come here. Do you see this exception? Raise credentials exception, raise credentials exception, raise credentials exception. So this will fail in case they're not valid. Okay. Then after that, okay, and of course there are ideas you can apply to make it better. We get the 100 notifications from the database. Okay. If I go back to this function definition, you will see it's simply ORM statements. Okay. To get 100 notifications. Okay. When we get that initial count, okay, of 100 notifications for this current user, okay, we now return a streaming response. This is where the magic happens, okay? Do not forget this, okay? Look at this, guys. We return a streaming response, okay? And the content of this streaming response will now come from the notification streamer function that we built, okay? And the media type has to be text events stream. Guys, all this is important, okay? All this is important. We send a text event stream, okay? Just like you can have media type of image, PNG, image, JPG, application, JSON, text / HTML, maybe text / XML, something like that, okay? Application, maybe JSON. This is also kind of like a media type or a meme type, okay? Which is text event stream. The front end needs this, okay? And of course, with catch control, okay? Say catch control, no catch. You don't need to catch. Connection, keep it alive, okay? Excel buffering, no. This is like for tools like Nginx, okay? To tell it that no, do not buffer, okay? Or do not catch, okay? Because if it catches, you'll have stale data, okay? And for the real-time notification, I don't want to have stale data, okay? And this is just like a preparation in case in the future I'm going to use Nginx for this, okay? I don't want stale data anywhere. Then I go to the next one, okay, for the unread count, okay, very similar, okay, takes in a token, DB session, okay, these are the function parameters for the path operation. Then come here, similar syntax, get the current user, okay, get the initial count, okay, send a streaming response, return a streaming response, but this time we are using the content is coming from the unread count streamer, which is a generator, an asynchronous generator function, okay? You know Python, ask yourself, do you know asynchronous generator functions? Okay, do you know them? Okay, revise if you don't know, okay, but we have covered this in this function, okay? If you look at this, okay, we are yielding, okay? All right, let's go on. So the media type is the same, the headers are the same, okay? And I've explained to you each of these, okay? If we go to the next one down here, okay? So it says get and read count, okay? This one is not an event stream, okay? So this is just a normal REST endpoint. So unread count, okay, notification stream are server sent event endpoints, okay? This one is a normal REST endpoint, okay? So it just returns the unread count, fetches it from the database and returns it, basically. We go to this one, okay? This one can give you them in case, in case you want a list of notification responses, okay, which are paginated, okay, like you can see at some point we shall need them. We shall need this endpoint when someone wants a page having all their notifications, okay, and this will help us, okay. This can help us, okay. So I simply return get notifications by user, passing database session, the current user, the skip and the limit, okay. If you go to this function here, definition, you simply see it is simply ORM operations, okay, which resemble SQL very much. Select notification where notification.user ID equals to user ID, order by notification.created at in descending order. So offset is the skip value, limit is the skip value, and give us all. As simple as that. Okay, very simple. Then, so these are REST endpoints. Then mark all as read. Okay, we call this function called mark all notifications as read. Okay, we pass in the database session and the current user because we want to mark for a particular user. If I go to, and like you see, it requires authentication. Okay, we have this current user dependency. If I go to mark all notifications as read, okay, you see, look at it. Okay, simply say select notifications. Okay, where notification.user ID equals to this user ID which you have passed as an argument, okay? Where notification is read is false, okay? Then for every notification, okay, make sure that you change it to true, okay? Add it to the database, commit, and return the length, okay? Return the number. I want to know the number of notifications which have been marked as read, okay? So once we get it, we now call our magic function. Are you seeing this? Await, get, and publish unread count. Okay, this is now the stream. So these streaming functions can be used anywhere. Okay, let's say I've told you right now we have a system which can help us send notifications at any time, anywhere. Okay. So this is, remember, this is a REST endpoint. Okay, a put, but we are publishing notifications. Don't you find that very interesting? Okay, we are publishing notifications. Then of course we will simply return the unread count. So close that. So this is for marking a single notification as read. Okay, so you give us that notification ID. Okay, and we return to you a notification response. Like you see, it accepts that ID. Okay, which is the path parameter, the dependency for the database, the dependency for authentication and knowing who the current user is. Okay, so here we mark the notification as read, okay, to this function, which accepts the database, the notification ID, and the current user. If I go to it, you will see, okay, what it does, okay? Similar syntax like the other one, okay? Only that in this case, we are doing for a single notification. Select notification, where notification.id is equal to this notification ID, which has been passed as an argument, and where notification.id is equal to this user ID. If it exists, mark it as read, add it to the database, okay, and commit it, okay, and then simply return it. Then when we come here, after that, if this does not exist, we raise an HTTP exception with a status code of 404 not found and a message saying notification not found. Otherwise, if everything is okay, we get and publish that unread count. Okay, so you see, our server-side event happens either way. Okay, then here says await. This is for removing the notification. Okay, so here we simply call this function crude delete notification. Okay, in fact I should just call it delete notification. Why did I say crude delete? So here you see it says select notification. Okay, similar syntax. Okay, where notification ID equals to this notification ID you've passed, and where notification.user ID equals to this user ID which has been passed. Okay, if it exists, we delete, commit, return true. Otherwise, we return false. Okay, true when deleted, false when not deleted. Okay, now I understand why this is called crude delete. Okay, because I wanted to avoid a conflict of names up here. See, say, look at this, it says delete notification as crude delete. I was trying to avoid the conflict of naming. Okay, so after, if it has not been deleted, okay, we shall get false from this function. Okay, and this will be triggered, and then we raise an HTTP exception with a status code of 404 not found and a detailed message saying notification not found. Otherwise, we publish, okay, a notification saying this has happened. The count, we need to publish the count. Remember, when you delete notification, the count definitely has to reduce. You get? Yes, just reduce. All right. Otherwise, here it says return none. Okay, we don't need it to return anything. Okay, because I seeing this status code equals status.http 204 no content. Okay, this is the status code you return when things have been deleted, when a resource has been deleted. Okay, so we are done with the backend. So I want to execute this. Then I explain to the backend. I mean the front end rather. So let me expand this. So the backend is running. Come here to the front end. npm run dev. Okay. So the front end actually is quite easier. Has even less code. Okay. The front end has less code. You're going to see. I'll open the front end. Okay. Then open source. Okay. If I start from types, okay, you see that here in types, we have simply types which are matching what is on the backend. Okay. So the notification has an ID, a type, a message is read when it was created, and the user ID. For the stream event, okay, we have a notification type, which could be the notification unread or connected. Okay, we have the ID, which is optional, the type, which may not exist or be there. Message is read, created at, user ID, unread for unread counts. Okay, then the status for connected events, when the event type is connected. Simple as that. And then we have this constant, okay, notification type for ticket uploaded, payment success, payment failed, booking confirmed as, and general. Okay, then we have we export notification type, which type of this notification type, which is this, okay? And the key is of type notification type still, okay? Simply, these are just simply type definitions, okay, in TypeScript. Then we go to the hooks, okay? Yeah, the hooks. As I do that, maybe let me go to my front end and refresh it, okay? So this should reload, okay? Force you to log in, okay? This is okay. Maybe I'm going to log in as an admin, okay? So that we start from there. Okay, maybe we shall start from the customer, okay? Let me not get ahead of myself. Let us go back here, okay, and finish. I'm going to show you that. Let me be patient and not run. So we have here, this step actually should be in the file, okay, this interface, okay? But it's called the use notifications return, okay? It's simply a definition of a list of notifications, okay? The unread count number, whether you have connected to the server sent event, whether we are fetching, whether an error has occurred or not. Then a definition for the function to mark as read, mark all as read, delete a notification, and refresh. Okay, and like you can see, this mark as read takes a notification as a argument. Okay, and is a promise. It returns the promise, which returns nothing. So all these, you see, it says promise void. Okay, so in programming, you know that void means nothing. Okay, so these are there'll be promises which return nothing. Okay, so what else? So we have the function. Okay, called use notifications. Okay, this is our hook called use notifications. Okay, and the return type is this interface up here. Use notifications return. Do you see it? So when I open it, okay, number one, we have a from a Zustand. Okay, if you remember what we studied long time ago, you can look up at Zustand. Okay, we get the token and whether you authenticated. We defined state for notifications. Okay, the notifications and for setting notifications. The actual unread count and a function for setting the unread count. The actual connected status and a function for changing that connected status. The actual loading state and the function for loading the state. The actual error and the function for setting the error. As simple as that. Okay. What you see here in brackets is simply the type definitions. Okay. This one is a list of notification. This one is an integer. These ones are booleans. Okay. This one can be a string or null. Okay. Then we have where references. Okay. It's going to be a reference to the actual event source. Okay. So to work with that, with a server sent event from the backend on the front end, define a event source. Okay. And this is going to be a reference to the event source. And this is going to be a time. This is now the timeout. This type Node.js to timeout is something I need to search about. Okay. Because TypeScript gave me headache. Okay. Giving a timeout, a definition for this. If you know the actual definition, let me know. If this is correct, also please let me know. I need to confirm this. This is something I need to make research about, okay? But this is going to be the timeout. This is the number of times you're trying to reconnect, okay? And this is the maximum number of times you can reconnect, okay? So take note of that. Then we go to our function called fetch notifications. Let me close all these so that I explain one by one, okay? And I want to make sure you understand it to the dot, okay? So fetch notification is a use callback, okay? Why? Because use callback is going to return a memoized function, okay? A memoized version of the callback, okay? Which will only change if one of the inputs have changed, okay? So it will going to return something which has been memoized, okay? So if you know what it means by memoization, think about it as a technique, okay, to store things, okay, so that they can be reused, okay, and not have multiple copies of the same thing. So in this case, we do not have multiple copies of a function, okay, for fetching notifications. We want to only have one, okay. So think about that. That will only change in case the input has changed, okay. So here, if there's no token, we simply return, okay. Otherwise, we say set loading is true, okay. Then look at this. We make a request, okay, to fetch all notifications with a limit of 20. This is simply to the REST endpoint, okay, the usual REST things we do. And of course, we send an authorization header, okay. So API base URL is actually up here, this here, okay. Process.env next public API base URL, or we simply say it is localhost in case the environment variable does not have it. Then after that, okay, when we are done, we of course we await fetch. If the response is not okay, we say we get an error, okay, or otherwise we pick the data, okay, and set the notification data, okay, and say there is no error, set error now. Now, in case of an error, we set the error, okay. And then finally, loading is false. While finally, because in the final block, you can run code whether things have gone bad or things have gone well, okay. Then of course the dependency is token, okay, in case the token changes. Then we have connect, okay, this is for connecting. Also, it uses use callback for the same purpose I've explained why we need callback. And I've said we're using callback because a use callback returns a function, okay, returns a version of this function which has been memoized, okay, and it will only be returned only if changes, okay, to the inputs have changed. Only if the inputs have changed, that's when it will change. So we have this check, okay, we simply return if you're not authenticated, okay. Then if there's an event source existing, we close it. Remember, we're connecting, okay? So we close because we want to have something fresh. We close it, okay? If the timeout also exists, we clear it, we reset the timeout, okay? So clear timeout is simply an inbuilt JavaScript function. We clear the timeout. After that, we now build the server sent event URL, okay? The API based URL, notifications, stream, then token, okay? Then we encode that token and send it. So this is what I showed you here, okay? We are calling this URL. If I go to the backend routers notifications.py, we are calling this one here, this one, notifications, this, okay? And we are passing the token, it's the token, okay? So follow me closely, okay? I'm very glad that many of you are still watching up to now, okay? Because right now with things like short form content, it has destroyed people's attention span. So let me go to hooks here. So you see, we have this, okay? After that, okay, we now create an event source object. Say new event source, we pass in that URL, okay? So this is how you deal with the server sent event. This is how the front end can know. This is how JavaScript can know that you're going to send a server sent event. Okay. So this is the interface to the server sent events. Okay. Very simple. Simply put an event source. That's why I told you earlier, I think in the previous stream or the other stream, that it is one of the easiest ways, okay, to work with real-time things, okay, instead of having to deal with WebSockets, okay. This one is a much easier setup. So now we set that reference, okay, which I showed you up here, this event source ref. We say its value event source dot current. The current one is this event source we have just created, okay. Then this event source has a number of what listeners, okay, event listeners. One is that on open, okay, when it has been open, we now set connected to true, say there's no error, okay, and we will set the number of reconnect attempts to 0, okay, and can simply log saying connection established. But of course, when I'm going to production, I'll remove this console.logs, okay, and make sure you also remove, okay. So this set is connected is setting this variable here, this one here, okay, which I showed you up here. Then set error null is simply for this one, calling this function and setting this value. Reconnect attempts is setting this reference here, okay. Then, yeah, that is it. So I'll close this. Then we go to another event. So when it has been connected, when an event from the backend, okay, says connected, sends an email called connected, okay, we pass that data. Remember, when we connect initially, we are sending the initial unread count, okay. So it says if the data.unread count is not undefined, if it actually exists, then we set the initial unread count, okay. Remember, we have this on the back end. I don't know if you remember, okay. If you've forgotten, look at the code, okay. Maybe let me show you. Where is this? Let me go to publish notification. Not here. This is a streamer, the first streamer, this one. Are you seeing this? Event connected. Okay? And we send the initial and read count. Okay? So this is what happens. So it will be caught. Let me close now this. Okay? It will be picked up. Wow. I instead close the front end. Sorry, let me go back. Source hooks. Okay, here. Okay. So that was just a quick reminder. Okay. But we have spent an hour looking at the backend code. So we set that unread count. Okay. Then of course just log. Okay. Like I've told you, these logs, I'm going to remove them. I'm just using them for development. Okay. And I was using them for debugging. In case of an error, simply log the error. Okay. I don't do anything. Okay. But of course, I'm going to handle this better. Like I told you, I want to remove them and handle them better. So this one, the backend sends an event for the connected. Then for the notification, okay, the same thing. We parse. Remember, the backend is sending us JSON, serialized. So we parse, okay? We parse, simply log, okay? I was doing this for testing purposes, okay? Then we set the notification at the beginning of the list, okay? We say, are you seeing this? This is data here. I set it at the beginning, okay? Then apply the previous, okay? This is simply JavaScript, okay? So it's set notifications. This is a function. It's an arrow function, okay? Which has that previous data, okay? Then what we are setting is simply a list, okay? A list of what? Which starts with this current notification which we have got, okay? We put it at the beginning, then apply the remaining data, okay? Then if this notification has not been read, okay, this new one, okay, has not been read, then we set the unread count. We increase it by 1. Remember, like I've told you, this is an arrow function, okay, and the argument is the previous data. We increase it by 1. Otherwise, simply log an error, okay? So this, I don't know, it's quite, I don't see anything complicated. It's actually easy, very easy. All right, another event listener, okay, for unread count. Okay, that's why you see on the back end, I kept on emphasizing those different types of notifications. Okay, those different types of notifications. Okay, so this is how we listen for them: connected, notification, unread. Okay, so the same thing. If we have a notification of unread sent from the backend, what do? We parse it. Okay, check if the unread count is not defined. If it exists, we set it. Okay, then of course, in case of an issue, just log it, okay? But like I've told you, I'm going to remove those log statements. If you're working and you're still like on development, you can keep them, okay? Then also for errors, okay? So event source.on errors. In case of an error, simply log it, set connection connected to false, okay? We close, okay? Send the current reference to null, okay? Then we try to do like a reconnection, okay? Reconnection. But for it to happen, excuse me, we have to check that the reconnect attempts, okay, are less than the maximum ones, okay? If they are less than, then I create a delay, okay? So this math doesn't really mean anything, okay? I was just thinking about creating something like an exponential backoff, okay? Whereby I get the minimum value between two things, okay? The minimum value between 30,000 and this other value here, okay? So this the first, this what I've selected right now is the first value, okay? Then a comma to separate it, then another value which is 30,000, okay? And I need to define this actually in a constant, not just have a magic number here, okay? Because you may come to this code and say, so what is 30,000? What does it mean, okay? Then for this other value, how would I do? I simply multiply 1,000 multiplied by math.power, okay? So 2 to the power of the reconnection attempts, okay? That's the word. And I just use that for the delay, okay? Then I say recorded attempts.current plus 1, okay? I increment it by 1, okay? Then just log saying we are trying to reconnect, okay? Then here I say the reconnect reference, okay? I set a timeout, okay? So you know that the set timeout function in JavaScript takes two things, okay? The function, the callback function, and the timeout itself, okay? So this timeout is this delay here, okay? And then inside this callback, okay? If you're authenticated, okay? If you're authenticated, I simply call connect. to the server sent event, which is, where is it? Up here, this one here, okay? This function, which was the first, I think the second actually I explained, okay? So minimize that. Then at the end, we do cleanup, okay? We do cleanup by saying event source.close, as simple as that, okay? And these are the dependencies, okay? Yeah, so that is that, okay? These others are simple, okay? So when a person has been authenticated, okay, we fetch notifications, okay, and then we connect, okay, and that connect function, like I've showed you, returns the cleanup function, okay, which you simply return here. Otherwise, okay, we set notifications to empty when you log in, you're logging out, okay. Send the count to 0, send connection to false. If this ref exists for the inventions, we close it, okay, and set the current to null, okay. And of course, there's a number of dependencies, which are all this in this use effect hook, okay. So in case authenticated token, fetch notification, or connect SSE changes, then this use effect will trigger. Then on when we are unmounting, okay, we do general cleanup. What is that? If the event source, if there's any event source, we close it. If the connect time ref value, if there's any timeout value which was existing, we clear the timeout. Okay, now we have functions for marking as read, mark as all, delete notification. Remember, these are just simply implementations of what is happening on the back end on the front end. So when I open this, okay, if there's no token, return. Otherwise, we're simply creating a REST API call, okay, to the backend to mark all notifications as read, okay, and we're going to see this in action. So we have a method put, okay, with the authentication header, authorization header, okay. If this is okay, then we set notifications, okay, and we set the unread count to 0, okay, because all have been read, okay. So like this is previous normal JavaScript, okay. We get the previous data or the previous list of notifications, and we say previous.map. Remember, map returns a list, okay. So for every, and also map takes in a function, okay. What does this function do? Picks one notification, okay, and then applies this data, but changes its read property to true, okay. That's what happens. Then we simply log in case there's an error. Of course, this can be improved. So for deleting, okay, similar thing, okay. Make a REST API call. This time the method is delete. Send the authorization header, okay, with the token. If it is okay, we find that notification, okay, using its ID, we filter, okay. Then we set notifications, okay, and filter this time, okay, eliminate we filter this time, but by only applying, by eliminating this deleted notification. That's why this ID, this logic here says that if the current ID, okay, if the current notifications ID, okay, is not equal to the notification ID we have just deleted, okay, set it, okay. So by doing this, we're eliminating the one which has been deleted, okay, in our state. Then of course, if it has been deleted, okay, and it has not been read, then we also change the unread count, okay, by simply decrementing it by 1, okay. Now I'm using math.max, okay, because in case we do previous, if the previous count is 0, okay, this 0 minus -1 will be -1, okay. But I don't have to show -1, okay. I simply use math.max to now return the maximum value between 0 and a negative, okay. So the maximum value between 0 and a negative will be 0, okay. That will be in case we are dealing with the last notification. So this is the logic for that, okay. I hope that makes sense to you, okay. And the same issue here, simply logging, okay. And of course, this can be done better, and like I've said, I'm going to remove those log statements. At the end here, okay, of our hook, okay, this use notification hook, you know what happened? I simply return all the data, okay, the data and the methods which act on the data. So I'll close this. We're almost there. So finally, we go to the components, okay? Before now, we go to the demo, okay? In the nav bar, okay? I'm using this notification bell. I'm using it in the nav bar, okay? See, I'm just defining it here. If you're authenticated, show the notification bell. You're going to see it very soon, okay? Go up, where even here, this is for bigger devices, notification bell. What is that notification bell? It is simply this component here, okay? Let me delete, see, function notification bell, okay? And let me show you in the, okay. It's not, let us first finish the code, okay? So that I log in at once and do these things. So, okay, here, see, says const is open, set is open, okay, for the state, this for the drop down, okay? It has a drop down. Then you have the initial, just picking the data, okay, from the use notification hook, which I've just explained to you, okay? Then there's here I simply have functions for handling things like when you click outside, okay? For example, like if you click outside, you have a function called handle click outside, okay? If the current ref exists, okay, and okay, that current ref does not contain the current event, okay, the current node, okay, the current element, okay, then I know you've clicked outside, okay, I know you've clicked outside. Then I set is open to false to hide it, okay. Then of course, after defining that function handle click outside, I say document.add event listener mouse down click outside, okay. Then of course, like we have to always do cleanup actions by removing it, okay. Remove that, remove. After you've added it, make sure you clean up your arrays, remove that event listener, okay. That's the best practice in front end. Then you have a function called handle notification click, which simply calls await mark as read, okay. What we just, and this mark as read is in the hook I just explained to you, okay. So if the notification is not read, we mark it as read. After that, we have this one, handle mark all as read, which simply calls await mark all as read. Handle delete simply calls await delete notification. Okay. Then we come to here the CSS, I mean the HTML, CSS or GSX. Okay. We have the ref defined, set is open to that. Okay. Then you have the actual design. This is the icon. Okay. This is the SVG icon, the bell icon. Then we have logic for handling unread count. Okay. We're just displaying. Okay. Then if it is open, okay, if open state is true, we show this drop down. Okay. And this drop down shows things like mark all as read. Okay. That is if the unread count is greater than 0. Okay. You're going to see this in action. Okay. Let me open. So if it is loading, okay, we show this. Okay. Otherwise, if the notification length is equals to 0, okay, we have this SVG design, okay, and it says with a message saying no notification yet. Okay, so the SVG is simply for design. You're going to see. Otherwise, if they are there, we map. We say notifications.map, okay. We call a function that says style get notification style, which accepts the notifications type. So where is this get notification style function? It's simply up here. Okay, very simple function. Where did I see it? It's here. Okay, simply a switch statement. Okay, where for every notification type, like ticket uploaded, it returns a JavaScript object having the icon. Okay, you're going to see you'll see these icons: the icon, the color, and the background. As simple as that. For success, different icon, different color, background. For failed, different icon, color, background. This one, different icon, color, background. General, different icon, color, background. Okay. And you're going to see. So, where was that? So this is it. Okay. So we pass the key, like in JavaScript, set the on click handler. Okay. And here we render styles conditionally. Then here we set the background also, depending on what has been set. Style load icon. Now you see where it's coming from this style. We have another design here. Okay. So the unread indicator is here. Okay. Then also have a close at the end. Okay. So yeah, this is just simple GSX. Okay. And I don't have to bore you guys going through the GSX. So let us now go to the front end. Okay. So let me first check if there are some flights available today. Okay, I'll close this. If there's some flights, let us try to book. Okay, let's see London, to my favorite places that you always see me searching for. So New York, departure, I'll put just a Tuesday, return, maybe that time, just search, and we see if there's anything. Remember last time when we searched, there was actually nothing. And last night when I was searching, I got some data. Look at us. We got lucky. Okay, there's some data. So let me go with this first flight. Okay, select this flight. I confirm and continue. So you see we're supposed to log in. Okay, so this is good. So I want you to see the actual notification happening. Let me enter the password. Okay, so I'll fill in the test data. Click next. Agree to the terms and conditions. Confirm the booking. So I'm going to show you the email. Say flight is no longer available. Flight offers expire within minutes. Please search for flights again. Okay, that was an invalid one. But why did they give us an invalid one then? Okay, can I get? Let me try my luck. Let me try my luck. Okay. If this does not work, we shall work with what is existing. Okay. I'll click one way. There'll be no need to force it. Okay. We shall deal with one way. Sometimes that is the disadvantage of working with for tests. Okay. So I did you see that bug where it says no flights available? Okay. That is something to fix. Okay. This one is okay. Now look at the bell. Are you seeing the bell here? Are you seeing that it has been increased by 1? Do you see this? If I open this, you see? Say, let me expand this so that you read it, see it better. Say, your flight has been confirmed. PNR that. Isn't that nice? Okay, this is nice. Okay, so we have 1. Okay, and look at that animation. Okay, it is blink, like kind of like glowing in and out. Okay, this is nice. Okay, and so this is the booking summary. Okay, let me now click pay now. So I'll pay using Visa. Select country. I'll put that PO Box 11719. Postal code, put that. Phone number, you just have to put, just put a random phone number. City code, just put randomly. I don't think they actually enforce this. Okay. For the card details, I'll click this to pick a card. Okay. So I'll copy this card. Come here, paste the card number. What is it? Is 78123. So this is 728,123. I'll accept the terms and conditions for the payment and click proceed. Okay. Hopefully the payment is successful. So it is still processing the payment. So if you like this series, like the video. Okay. So you see payment received. Okay. Like this video, share it, subscribe. Let's grow a community. So it says processing payment. Okay. Payment successful. Okay. And says redirect into your booking. What is important? This is the notification has increased. Okay. We have the bell icon now increased to 2. That is real time. Okay. Or almost real time. If you want to be accurate. See, it says payment successful for flight with PNR that. Isn't that now awesome? Okay. So look at this. It says ticket is being processed. Please be patient. Maximum 24 hours. We're going to upload the ticket. Okay. So when I come here, I want to see if deleting works. So I think this one which was created 1 day ago, I'll click on delete. So it works. It has been deleted. You see, it delete this. It goes. Okay. So if I click on one thing, it should make it mark it as red. If I click on this, okay, because it's the same, because it is the comments I think are, because the notifications for the same comment, okay, the count was reduced to 0, okay, but I need to check that, okay, but let us refresh. I want to see something. I might have a bug. I have noticed it. I noticed it. So when we mark as red, we're not updating the notification count, okay, but you can see it is actually still 1. I was going to wonder what is happening, okay, but you can see this one is still marked as what? Unread, okay. So if I click on it, it should be, so even if I refresh, it should have nothing. And this is good, okay. So this can be deleted. Can delete this one, delete that one, okay, can close. If I click this and click outside, the same thing. So now let us go to the admin, okay. I'm going to show you the email soon, okay. Let me log out, and remember our admin that we created using our CLI tool. We created a command line interface for creating admins, just like in Django. If you miss that live stream, check, okay. So log in as an admin. Say unable to load booking. That's correct, because the page, remember the page which we're on was for the user, okay, and this person has no booking. But if you go to admin dashboard, okay, you'll see that our dashboard is working well. We have a number of 7 bookings in total. We have the revenue, okay, we have 1 active user for now. Customer was giving us this revenue. Isn't that awesome? One customer giving you $30,000, almost 4,000. Total bookings this week. Today we have only 1 booking out of 3. That's nice, okay? And this is the one we've just paid for, okay? Look at the notification for the admin. It is 1, okay? This was for yesterday. So ticket uploaded for flight with PNR, this, okay? So I can simply mark this as red by clicking on it, okay? And also, even here, we can also delete. If I click on this icon, it deletes them. I see. Real time. Isn't that nice? So I see in this one here, this record, which is pending, okay? Ticket status says pending, okay? And actually, if I log out, okay, let me log out and go to, I want to log in. I want to log in as a user, okay? I want to show you something. Quickly log in. Are you seeing? It is saying processing, okay? This ticket has been processed. Status is paid, okay? If I go to view details, you see it is say ticket is processing, please be patient, okay? You understand? So it is still being what? Worked on. So let us log out and log in and upload. I want you to see all the notifications I've been talking about, okay? In action. Paste that password, copy this. So if you want to hack me, there's the password for you. So we can now go to this view details, okay? Okay, so in view details, it says, I think ticket status says no ticket uploaded, okay? So we're going to upload. So before, actually before we upload, I want to show you the emails, okay? I want to show you the emails. So we have here an email for, okay, this one has failed, okay? But if you look at this first one, it has passed. Say new booking order placed to this admin. Say a new booking order has been placed by a customer. PNR is that, user email is that, the booking ID is that. See, if you click on view booking details, if I click on this button, view booking details from the email, you see, it brings us to this page, okay, where we can upload the ticket for the one which has been paid. So admins will receive email notifications, okay, and they can view the booking details and see that it has not been uploaded, okay. Are you seeing that? So I wanted to show you this email, okay, that we have email notifications working. And if it fails, it shows us, like, for example, you see this admin.admin.com is not working. Why? Because this email address does not exist, okay? Doesn't exist. So it failed, okay? So let's go here and upload the ticket. So I'll come here, click upload ticket. I'll just pick a random stuff, maybe like this, okay? Click, then say upload ticket, okay? So we expect to have a notification, okay? And there we are. You see, the count of notifications increased by 1. And here down we say ticket, we have ticket uploaded. If I open this, okay, you see, ticket uploaded for flight with PNR, that, okay? So if I wanted to show you something, if I click on mark all as read, it will work. So click mark all as read, you see, it has been marked. Of course, we had only one, which is not unread, but it should mark either one as read or all as read. It should simply work, whether there's one unread message or all are unread, okay? And like you can see, because all have been marked as unread, that message mark all as unread has disappeared, okay? This is nice. So no need to upload again. So this is the page, okay? So now if I go to the email, okay? I think admin doesn't receive one, okay? But the user should be able to receive the in-app notification. So to test that, I will log out, okay? Again, okay? Log out again. And now I want to log in as a user, okay? Login, okay? So you see we have one notification, okay? See, says your ticket for flight with PNR that has been uploaded successfully, okay? So if I go here, okay? What was the PNR? There's an issue, okay? No, it's actually okay. Are you seeing this? Yeah, I was going to wonder. I want to confirm, is it the same PNR? Let's see. 9LCPR. Yes, it's the same. Okay. So you see, we now view the ticket. If we click on view ticket, we can view the ticket. Okay. There it is loading. Of course, it's just a fake image for now. If I click on download ticket, it should prompt a download. Are you seeing? You can download. Let me remove this. Okay. So you can download it. Okay. So yeah, this is it for notification. If I come to this notification, okay, I can either delete it, I can click on it to mark it as read, or click on mark all as read, okay, and there it is, okay. So maybe something else to improve, okay. When you click on a notification, okay, it should bring you to this page, okay. I'm also wondering why the email has not come, okay. I think maybe I did not do that in the code. I thought I implemented that, okay? But it is simple. Why? Because we have our system already built up, okay? We have our system already built up. You get? We have our system already built up. I'll just go and call the function for sending emails. And it will send an email to this user that the ticket has been uploaded. What else? What is missing? Okay. Let me see. Of course, we have an issue here. Okay. So it's a hydration issue. Okay. Which I will fix. What else do I want to show you? What else do I want to show you? Okay. Oh, look at this. I was wondering why it was showing processing here. Okay. It has been fixed. I'll need to look at it closely to understand why it was not giving the latest. Okay. But you can see this. You can click on this button to view the thing. Okay. The ticket, or you can click to download. Okay. Either way. Oh. So if we go to view details again, there we are. Okay. So yeah, we have made really tremendous progress, and now we are moving towards the, can I call it, the evening, okay, the end of the flight booking engine. So I thought talking about server sent events would be a very important topic, okay, that I need to show you so that you learn of it and know, okay. The things to improve, like adding pagination here, but I don't think I have to create a stream to show you about pagination, okay. That is something I can deal with offline, okay. Just to show you one more time because I'm enjoying this, okay. And click upload ticket. Okay, you see, there we are with the notification. Okay, so yeah, this is cool. I've enjoyed it. So make sure you revise the code. Okay, read every line of code, especially for the front end. Okay, I've not had a chance to like teach you guys front end from scratch. Okay, because my interest in front end is not really that deep. Okay, but if you have any question concerning the front end code, I'll be happy to explain to you. I understand all of it. Okay, Yeah, I'm not just a fan of the front end. In fact, if I had a front end, if any of you here offers to build a front end, I would be so happy. Okay, that someone else is dealing with the front end and I deal with the back end only. But it's what it is. I have to do this. Actually, this message saying just now. Did I show you what does that? I don't think I showed you. I didn't show you. Are you seeing this format time? Okay, I compute the time. Okay, from the date string, I have a date time now a date object. Okay, and I get the time difference. Okay, from now and from the one of the date. Okay, then I get the difference in minutes, hours, and days. Okay, if it's less than 1 minute, I say just now. Okay, just like you saw here, it says just now. Okay, if it is less than a number of what of 60 minutes, okay, I say this number of minutes ago, or this number of hours ago, this number of days ago. I think I even need to add here this number of weeks ago, or this number of years ago. Okay, so what brings this, what you're seeing here, like just now, 4 minutes ago, 17 hours ago, is this function here called format time. Okay, if I select it and I press Ctrl F and I go down to its implementation, you see it is called here. It is called here. Said format time notification dot created at. So we pass that time when it was created at, and we simply format. That is how I deal with it. Okay, yeah. So like you can see, notification message. So this is where it is. It has been not displayed. Okay, and the style here will change depending on whether it has been read or not. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Pretty nice. So I'll mark this one as red. Okay. So thank you for learning and building with me. I hope you've come a long way in this series, and I hope this reinforces your understanding, okay, of server-side events and how to combine them with the rest and how to work with the backend and the front end. Okay. So bye for now and see you in the next stream.